We have a Windows Volume Manager here in the disk map. It'll show backup jobs. I'm actually going to delete this because I'm probably going to create the same one that's there. Different destination locations. You don't really need to use that too much. And then backup history. So again, the kind of stuff that any monitoring tool could really pick up, but then you could go through that way. Computer says it looks a bit like a Cronus. Definitely not a Cronus. It is by, this is our Shadow Protect image creator program. But as far as can it do everything a Cronus can do, that and more. So backup, you hit backup, and it's going to come through a real historical backup wizard. So you have this view, you have just this view. You're going to select a volume or a number of volumes to create an image of. So for this demo, I'm just going to hit the E drive, just our Exchange volume. Hit next. Now it's going to ask you, okay, well, where do you want to put this backup? Well, if this is a live environment, we'd put it to a staging machine, right? The one that we're going to be just dedicated to running backups off-site. So we would hit browse and we look through it. You could define a network drive. I'm just going to hit the F drive for now, but you could define a new location there if you needed to. Then the schedule. Full backup versus incremental, pretty standard, and even maybe a little archaic. You don't really need to do full backups on a weekly basis because of the intelligence of this system to recover to certain incremental points. So before, the idea was, well, to get to Thursday, I'm going to have to recover this full backup from Sunday. Then I'm going to recover the Monday incremental, then Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday, and hope that none of these failed. Well, today we don't have to do that. It's more intelligent. So now you just say, I want to hit Thursdays at this point and go, and then it'll automatically do that for you. Right now, we're also setting our restore point objective. Right now, we're running backups every hour, so we're getting an incremental backup of the system every hour. And this is great because it really doesn't do, it really doesn't take a whole lot of time or system requirement the more often you run it, right? Because the incrementals are going to be smaller. So we do that weekly or monthly, whatever you want. Hit next. Got a question. Is the reseller program for SOS Business different from SOS Server, or one program for both? One program for both. So you enter as a server save partner, and you get the 5 server seats and a terabyte of cloud space, and you can provision that however you like. All right, so you can set encryption standards for this. This is scheduling the local backup, by the way. So encryption for local backup, standard, just leave it there. We don't recommend encrypting the local backup if you plan on going off-site with it, because we are going to go off-site and encrypt at 256-bit AES before we transfer anyway. And that's a nonlinear algorithm. Encrypting encrypted files takes a long time. So performance, we recommend not doing it if you can avoid it. But we do have these options. We also have different commands you can run for pre-snapshot, post-snapshot, post-backup. So if you need to, pause something, restart something, whatever it is. Some, legacy systems that are maybe running, or whatever the case may be. Retention for the local backup. So you can set the retention policy, and this will affect what kind of retention policy you have on your local machine, not on the cloud. So this says, okay, we're going to rewrite all the incremental images every day, or every time, every week. But we're going to keep all the fulls. So you can do that however you like, or you can overwrite them both. It depends on what you want to do. We also have this split image item, which we actually used to recommend to our customers before coming out with our own image stream program, which was, well, if you're going to run an image, you're going to want to split it up into smaller chunks and then use our backup program to go off-site with it, because that's going to be rather bulky if you don't. But now with image stream, you don't really need to split it up. So we hit next, get a summary, and then finish. And we have a summary here, so we can see that, and I'll go ahead and execute. I have a few questions. How much is 1 more terabyte or 5 terabytes? Well, you're really going to have to talk to your partner specialist about that. They have all the programs in front of you. I don't really get involved. I know the 379 is the 5 terabyte, and then 15, I think maybe 5 terabytes and 15 server licenses. I'm not even sure on the packages, so you may not want to listen to me, but I think it's 379 and then 699 are the 2 bottom packages. That's per month. Has anyone integrated this with Microsoft DPM so SOS becomes the offsite storage? You know, I don't know. That's a good question, and that would be a good question to ask your partner specialist, and then we'll get our sales tech on it and see, you know, what it looks like. Good question, Pat. Or Patrick, if you mind. Okay, so this is running, but so I can show you what it looks like with incrementals. I'm going to go to Explore Backup, hit Next, and I'm going to browse through an existing backup. Okay, so we see that this one's been running forever. We have 37 incrementals on backup job 9. So we say, okay, next. And then it's going to ask you, all right, in this backup job, we see a whole lot of incrementals. At which point do you want to recover? We say, okay, well, you know, I want to go back. Let's just get the most recent. Sure. Those of you coming from more historical systems who have been doing this for a while understand that this would be a heck of a job. You would never do multiple incrementals per day because of the job that we're looking at now. But we hit next and we say, okay, well, I want to recover this to a virtual drive. Let's name it virtual drive P for Patrick. Sure. So we hit next. Then it gives us the chain that it's going to recover, where it's going to recover it to, additional settings, and we hit finish. All right, got a couple questions. All right, there. We just recovered to virtual drive P. So Patrick's drive is here. We open it up, and now we have our Exchange mailbox that we just recovered. I got a couple of good questions, but I want to get through a quick EGR recovery, give you the Kindle code so you guys can all get out of here since we're at 10 over the hour, and then we'll go with questions for another 10-15. So I hit Exchange Granular Recovery. It's going to open up my EGR client. And first I have to define my source. Okay, well, where's my EDB file, right, the one that we just recovered? So I'm going to go to my computer. I'm going to go to the Patrick drive, Exchange, mailbox, EDB, go. It's going to automatically assume where the transaction logs are going to be. It should be in the same directory. If not, for whatever reason, you can browse and find them. Temporary path, no big deal. This is, you know, no bigger than 500 megs, so you don't need to be worried about use space on it. At least we haven't seen it get much bigger than that. If you do, that'd be interesting to see the environment that happens in. So we have our source file here. Now we have options to select either a target PST file. So this is more of a digital discovery or electronic discovery function. So if you have companies merging or if you have some sort of dispute against intellectual property between businesses or users in a specific business, you often are required by the court to prove intellectual property. So part of that would be email. And you just select everything here and recover it to a single PST, and then you send it to the court, and they go through it and, you know, tell you what's up. Also, open target exchange, and this is more common. So we say, okay, well, you need to connect to a live exchange server. Pick a domain controller it's on, the server name, and then boom. This is all going to authenticate based on the user, the Windows user that I'm signed into currently. So it's telling me that, yes, I'm good, no, I'm not good. All right, great. It lists it down here. So let's say you have like a very common, well, before we do that, You could say you're migrating hardware. You could just pull this to a new piece of hardware and say, okay, good. Do you want the mailboxes to be created for mailboxes that do not exist? And I could say yes, and it's going to go ahead and do that. Awesome. Usually that's a couple of steps per mailbox. If I want to just recover a mailbox to an existing Exchange server, I could do that. Or cancel it, whatever. So that's really simple. More commonly, or you can do multiple mailboxes. More commonly, there's a specific file from a specific user that there's trying to get to. Or we just want to search through multiple users. But let's say just one user is saying, hey, there's an email from Nortel. I accidentally included it. Can you, or deleted it. Can you get it for me? So, okay, fine. So we search for Nortel. And we say, okay, is this the one? And it says call center supervisor guide. It's like, no, it's not the supervisor guide. There's a management guide on it. All right, great. So we look through management guide. Okay, that's the one. So then we just simply open this guy's inbox, drag, drop, and recovered. Done. Got it to him. We could select all these and drag drop all of them for all we care. It doesn't really matter. It's really flexible, really nice. You could save that report. You could search across the entire mailbox and get a whole lot of emails based on Nortel. So it's really pretty. It's really pretty slick. It's very fast and easy to use, pretty intuitive, especially if you've used these tools before. Image stream, pretty simple service. You get a setup online backup, gives you a Windows tree view. So those of you familiar with our file and folder product, nearly the same exact thing. In fact, it will become exactly the same thing in months to come. But you just select what files or what drives you want to back up, and then you hit next. You put it on a schedule, tell it if you want it to run as a Windows service or not. You can put an email address in to receive email reports or not, whatever you want to do. Hit finish, and then things going to kick off a backup. And I should probably cancel that because I don't want it running right now. But there, you see that it's backing up it's actually backing up all this data to my demo account, which I didn't really want to do, but here we go. It's doing it. All right, that's it. So I'm going to give you the Kindle code now. So call up, and again, there's again, to look at where we've gone today. Since 2001, primarily the U.S. operation launched in 2005, 2006. So since then, we've dominated this small space of file and folder backup among Carbonite, Mozy, Backblaze, all these guys. We've always been more secure and a better service, but competing in a rather compact and populated neighborhood. More competitors popping up every day. Now, we are the only one whose name is in every box at every column. So we're from end to end. We can protect your mobile devices, your workstations, your laptops at a file and folder level, both locally and off-site. We can also do file server backup. We can do full image-based backup of your different applications and systems, both locally and off-site. No one else provides that end-to-end solution like we do, and especially not at the price point. So what you're going to want to do is call up 877-896-3611, extension 1.